Hello and welcome to Cultivated World, the channel that brings you the good stuff from the world of watches. Today we are looking at the Rolex Explorer II with the white polar dial. We'll be discussing the specifications and the features, including some of its history. Stick around to the end of the video because we'll be showing you how to set the time and use the GMT function of the watch. The Rolex Explorer II was first introduced in 1971 and was a step on from the original Explorer. With a completely different look and feel from the original, the Explorer II added some extra features, upgrading the functionality of the watch and adding a more sporty edge. Adding the date feature at 3 o'clock with Rolex's esteemed Cyclops magnifier for great legibility, and the 24-hour bezel in conjunction with the iconic bright orange 24-hour hand. This modern interpretation of the Explorer II was first introduced at Bezel in 2011 on the 40th anniversary of the original Explorer II. This is the model reference 216570 with what people like to call the white polar dial. The Explorer II is also available with a black dial like the original, but the prices on the grey market would suggest that the white dial is the more popular option. Up until early 2019, this model was relatively easy to obtain. However, since then the demand for the Explorer II has increased dramatically. Although it isn't the most popular Rolex model, you would still have to wait for many months before you could get your hands on one from your authorized dealer. The steel bezel features a brush treatment which has been finished in such a way to give the bezel an almost sunray effect. As you move the watch, it reflects the light subtly without being shiny or flashy. The fixed bezel is completed with 24-hour markers which are enamel painted. They are big and bold for optimum legibility. For this modern iteration, Rolex reintroduced the signature orange 24-hour hand, which was absent since the original Explorer II was discontinued in 1984. The bright orange hand and the comprehensible bezel were designed for superior legibility in the most challenging of environments. So whether you are exploring one of the polar regions without any sunlight or exploring the deepest, darkest caves, you're still able to determine whether it's AM or PM. On the surface, you wouldn't notice that the hour markers on the maxi dial are actually made from white gold, which have been covered in black to create more of a contrast against the white dial. With form following function, the hour markers are filmed with chromolite that glows a bright blue and offers an impressive 8 hours of luminescence in the dark. The dial is finished off with a black printed Rolex logo alongside Explorer II in bright orange, which makes a striking combination with the 24-hour hand. Lower down on the dial, there are 2 lines of text. That's right, only 2 lines of text on a modern professional Rolex model. That's less than the beloved Submariner. Overall, this gives the dial in the Explorer II a lucid, crisp look which is clear and easy to read, and even puts the white dial Daytona to shame in the legibility department. We have an upcoming review on the white dial Daytona, so please subscribe to avoid missing that one. The watch has had a few nicknames in the past, one being the Rolex Steve McQueen after the King of Cool himself. However, this is completely unfounded as McQueen was actually often seen wearing a Rolex Submariner instead. More recently, some people have been calling this watch the Prince Harry. Now, is that because Prince Harry owns this Explorer II, or is it because it's white with a hint of orange? If you know anything about the origin of this nickname, please let us know in the comment section below. This most recent version also saw the Explorer II increase in size from 40mm to 42, which is quite a significant difference and adds to the watch's sporty, rugged feeling. Some think the Explorer II has grown too much and has led way to a thriving market for the smaller vintage Explorer IIs. My wrist is 17 centimeters or 6 3/4 inches in circumference, and although the Explorer II is on the larger side, it is comfortable and definitely wearable. The Explorer II also features a brushed oyster bracelet with polished sides, complete with the safety clasp. The Explorer II also features the EasyLink extension, offering 5mm of on-the-fly adjustment without the use of any tools. This is very useful as your wrist expands and contracts with the changes of ambient temperature. The orange 24-hour hand is independently adjustable so that you can track a second time zone. The orange hand will be set to a reference time zone like Greenwich Mean Time, which is convenient considering we're in London. We're going to set the time for 10:10 AM and set the date for the 12th of the month. Firstly, you have to unscrew the crown and pull it out 2 positions so the crown is all the way out. In this position, it hacks the movement. Then we wind the crown, moving the orange hand to the 10 AM position and then continuing until we are 10 minutes past the hour. So we have now set the reference time by pointing the orange hand to 10 AM, but the main hour hand is showing 7 o'clock. Now to adjust this, we need to push the crown back in and then pull it out just 1 stop. And in this position, we can now adjust the main hour hand independently to set the correct hour and adjust the date. Unfortunately, the Explorer II doesn't have a quick set date function. Much like the GMT Master 2, you have to move the hour hand around the watch until you reach the correct date, taking note that the date moves forward with every second rotation of the watch. Now, if we took a flight from London to New York, we could change the time on the Explorer II to show the local time in New York, whilst maintaining the position of the orange 24-hour hand showing the time in London. To do this, we would pull the crown out 1 position after it had been unscrewed. This would allow us to move the main hour hand 5 hours backwards, showing the time in New York. You will notice that in this crown position, it doesn't hack the movement and the seconds hand keeps ticking. We are now showing 5:10 in New York, but we can also still see that it is 10:10 AM in London using the orange 24-hour hand. Rolex watches have been taken up Mount Everest, down to the deepest parts of the ocean's bed, and into the craters of active volcanoes. So wherever you may go on this planet, it's likely that a Rolex has been there before you. The Rolex Explorer II was designed for explorers and adventurers in mind, and ultimately it gives you the reassuring feeling that it is strong and dependable and would never let you down. Unlike other watches in the Rolex lineup, it gives you the vibe that it doesn't take itself too seriously and it's not very pretentious, which lends itself to being a great, versatile, everyday watch. It is not ostentatious by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a beautifully put together timepiece. In short, the quality really speaks for itself. The perfect watch to bring out the inner Indiana Jones in us all. There has been much speculation that the Explorer II is to be updated on its 50th anniversary in 2021. One suggestion is that Rolex will introduce a Cerachron bezel to the Explorer II. What do you think about the prospect of a Cerachron bezel on this model? Do you think that it's a welcomed upgrade, or is it moving too far away from the original design? Also, what do you think about the orange 24-hour hand? Is it an icon, or is it an eyesore? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like watches as much as we do and would like to see more watch content, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon.